As a digital platform, Ngata Homes facilitates, enables, and eases accessibility to affordable, smart, and decent co-living housing units that are meant for rent or sale within the state center to all people that want housing opportunities, reducing the impact of urban sprawl. In short, Ngata uses technology to slow down the negative impact of urban sprawl. Urban sprawl refers to the uncontrolled, unplanned, unmanaged expansion of urban centers outwards to the outskirts. This in itself is catastrophic to the environment, to social and economic development, as it increases physical and environmental footprint. Urban sprawl is one of the very many effects of rapid urbanization. As we speak, 40% of Africa's population live within the city and urban centers, and this urbanization growth rate is still growing. For example, here in Tanzania, by 2050, we will have more than 84 million people living within city centers. Currently here in Dar es Salaam, we have more than 7.7 million people. In the next 10 years, we'll have more than 11 to 13 million people, thus making Dar es Salaam a mega city and bringing upon Dar es Salaam the catastrophic impact of urban sprawl. Among the many activators of urban sprawl, top on the list is limited access to affordable housing within city centers. That is to say, the high land and building cost in city centers is forcing millions of people to settle in slums, that is, those poorly bamshako kind of houses that are not well planned, which in themselves affect the lives, the health and productivity of their own dwellers, besides degrading the environment by creating heat islands in urban centers. The remaining millions that aren't comfortable to stay in slums, they tend to move out of city centers to go and look for cheaper undeveloped land in form of agricultural land, wetlands or forest. They clear them to set up human settlement. That is urban sprawl. Effect number one of urban sprawl is low density development, where a few people move out of the city center and go look for big chunks of land out of the city center. Because normally in those outskirts there is limited access to public transport, thus depending on their cars or maybe private cars to do a lot of commuting. Increased infrastructure costs. It becomes very expensive for the government and the environment to support people who are sparsely populated. Building roads, extending water, power and sewer systems, hospital and schools in places that few people do live is very expensive for the government. Another challenge that is associated with the urban sprawl is environmental impact. As people move out of the city centers to go out to the suburbs, to the outskirts, they encroach on the environment. They do clear farming land, they do clear forests, they cut down trees, they do drain swamps. All these increase human activities, thus increasing the emission of green gases into the atmosphere, besides disrupting local ecosystems and reducing biodiversity. Lastly, among the very many effects of urban sprawl is social impact, whereby there is no social or community coherence. As Ngata Homes Africa, we are committed to slowing down the negative impacts of urban sprawl. Thus, by privileging digital technology and innovative business models to create sustainable cities. We do this by adopting and promoting smart growth strategies in the housing sector. Among these strategies is to cut down and reduce the emission of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, number one. Number two, we also adopt and promote the concept of asset sharing. And lastly, we do promote social equality in the city centers. What we do as Ngata Homes Africa to slow down the negative impact of urban sprawl. Number one, we adopt and promote compact and mixed development. In this scenario, we use innovative business models to consolidate and tokenize expensive land or plots of land in city centers so as to make them affordable and accessible to many people. In this scenario, we optimize these lands by building co-living, decent and affordable units that can be owned by more than one person. That is making housing and land affordable and accessible in the city centers. For example, these plot of land was owned by one individual, and he used to stay here with his family of less than 3 family members. But as we speak, we have more than 6 people that own and access this piece of land and have more than 21 family members, thus optimizing land use within the city center. Ngata Homes Africa, we also enable and promote social equality. With our innovative co-living and asset sharing concept, we do bring down the cost of housing in urban centers, thus making housing accessible by most of people that are willing to buy. As Ngata Homes Africa, we adopt and promote TOD, that is trust-oriented development. All our co-living projects are built either alongside or closer to urban transport hubs, where people can easily access public transport or can easily walk or cycle to their workplace. In Ngata Homes, we also adopt smart homes concept in our designs. We deliberately design methods of reducing dependence on national grid supply of resources. We cut down dependence of our housing units on national grid supply of electricity, water, and sewer. We use smart meters on our properties to see that people just use what is enough, not just more than that. We also, where practical, dig our own wells to reduce dependence on national grid water supply. We use biosep tanks to handle our sewage, so as we don't have to connect to public sewer lines. We also look forward to having an innovative, eco-friendly way of collecting garbages and recycling from our housing units. All these are meant to see that we do protect the environment. What have we done so far? Since last year, January 2002, we have been building our digital platform. The digital platform that helps us to streamline our property management, development, and the financing processes. On this digital platform that's already in the market, we enable tenants to find affordable, smart, and decent co-housing that are out there for rent. And the moment they get into these properties, we begin to profile them and prepare them for their home ownership journey, as we going to connect them to developers and bankers using their rent payment promptness and housekeeping habits. Developers also on our digital platform can come and access true and authentic information of home buyers that have been vetted and profiled, so as they can use that information to build houses for vetted off-takers, thus de-risking their market and operation. On our digital platform that's already in the market, bankers and home loan financiers can come and access authentic information of those vetted buyers that are willing to be given loans to own homes within the city centers, thus making housing accessible to all and breaking the chain of inequality in housing city centers. Since February 2023 this year, in collaboration with our developers, we've been able to build more than 12 co-living houses within the city centers of Dar es Salaam. And fortunately enough, these houses have been sold in less than 1.5 months. Out of these 12 co-living houses, 4 of them were bought by our former tenants that we profiled, and 8 of them were bought by investors who are renting them out on our digital platform, thus increasing the housing stock within the city of Dar es Salaam and other cities. By our product rollout plan, we are starting with Dar es Salaam, where we project to facilitate the building of over 100,000 co-living, smart, affordable housing units. And by achieving this goal, we'll be able to cut down over 70 million metric tons of carbon that is being emitted annually by such number of units. So as of now, under our action plan, we are mobilizing resources in form of grants or equity to see that we scale up the rest of Dar es Salaam and other cities within Tanzania in the next 5 years, where we plan to cut down on the emission of carbon and other greenhouse gases that come as a result of urban sprawl, as we prepare Dar es Salaam for the status of mega city. Thank you so much.